And we are live on the Bright Business Talk Show. Good afternoon. My name is Jim Miller, your host. In this show, we have purpose driven conversations and we talk about business and life. Today's episode is brought to you by the Bright Business Project, where we're building you a community for growing and scaling your purpose driven business and life. Today, I have the honor of speaking with Laura Bashore. And I'm going to bring her on here real quick. Let's see if I can figure this out. There we go. Hey, Laura.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good. I'm good. It's nice in San Diego, and but I'm happy to be indoors because it's still a little warm. So
Yeah, it has been warm. It's been like crazy hot here. We the beginning
yeah,
of the year was like winter. It was like, when is it gonna get heat? When are we gonna get some heat? And then it just blasted us for like 3 months. And I'm ready for some cooler weather now. Not
yeah.
that I'm complaining.
I feel like that's the problem in San Diego. We're always looking for what's next with the weather. Like we're never happy with where the weather's at. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like, but we have options. We can go south, we can go north, we can go east, or we can go to Hawaii.
yeah.
So it's like there's always options, which is fun. And so today we're gonna talk to Laura a bit about her purpose driven life and business. And this is a busy lady, Laura. You're a busy lady. I was looking at your profile, and oh my goodness, you have so much happening in your life, and
Yeah.
what an inspiration! You've
Oh,
got so much
thanks. I
going
get
on in
that
your
a lot.
yeah.
People read my bio and they're like, whoa. 'Cause there's a part in there that talks about what I do in my downtime, and people tell me, are you sure that there's downtime?
Yeah,
But
we can fit that
yeah.
in. So what do you do in your
Yeah.
downtime?
I do a lot of concerts, uh, a lot
Who's your
of
favorite band?
musical. Oh, okay. So my favorite of all time is Tom Petty. And
Tom Petty and
Tom
the
Petty and the
Heartbreakers.
Heartbreakers, yeah. And but it kind of depends on what's going on through the day. I like all genres. Last Tuesday, I just went and saw Eric Clapton, so that was my last concert
No
for the
way.
year. Oh yeah, it was
Wow.
great. Yeah.
What did he start out with? What was his headline song? Do you
Oh,
remember?
yes, it
He's
was
such a great guitar
Sunshine.
player.
It was Sunshine of your love, so it was great.
Awesome. Who did you
So
go
he
with?
did some cream song. I went with my husband.
Good for you.
Mhm. Yeah,
Bill.
we go all the time.
That's cool. And you have some kids too, huh?
Yes, I have a 10-year-old son and also one who's about to turn 8. So I also go to a lot of sports, theater, everything supporting them too. So
So busy
yeah.
mom, doing the busy mom things, and that's so important. I remember I was just thinking back on my school years. My parents recently passed away, so I was kind of reminiscing a bit and spending a little time with my granddaughter. And it's one of those things that it's as life goes on, it seems like, boy, this is such a busy time for me and from a business perspective. But those kids are only with you for a short period of time. So I
Yeah,
honor you
exactly.
and applaud you for taking those moments and enjoying them with your kids. It's so important.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that I love about being a business owner is although I have a lot going on because I own 3 businesses, so um, I have a lot going on, but I'm able to shift my schedule around where I need to so I can be there for my kids and
Mm.
participate in them. Because, like you said, they're only little for a little bit of time. They only are gonna want me around for a little bit of time, so I'm glad that I'm able to find that balance, me and my husband, because he also, one of our businesses we co own together and he runs full time. So we're just fortunate that we're able to work our lives to where we can fit things like that in. because that's really what it's all about, at least for us, so.
Yeah, oh, that's beautiful. So let's see. You mentioned you have two businesses, and that um, let's talk about that a little bit. What is the business that you love doing the most right now?
Well, my two businesses, they really kind of go with each other. They fold into each other naturally. So I am a business and career coach. I'm also certified in AI. So I work with whether you are a W-2 employee who's looking to move up the career ladder, or you're already at the C level and you're looking for how to get more fulfillment out of it or expand in some way. I work with clients on that. And then on the business owner side, um, I work with them on how to scale their business in a way that works for whatever they're trying to do. There's not a one size fits all method. And so, since I've done that with myself for three different types of businesses, one is a franchise business, one was a solopreneur and is now an LLC, and the other one was a legacy business, meaning we purchased that from my father. And so, all the different things that go into that are something that I can bring to business owners who are looking to do that for themselves. Why they work together is because my business Team Referral Network, I started that as a member, just being a member of that with my coaching business. I thought, oh, well, this will help me get referrals, get more recognition or brand recognition locally, because my business is nationwide and international. But I found I didn't have a lot of notoriety or brand awareness, I guess is what I would say, in San Diego. And I wanted to have that because I'm part of this community. So I found Team close to 5 years ago, and I was there as a member. I'd never networked before in my life. I was very scared of networking.
Why is that? Why were you scared of networking? What was it that intimidated you? You don't seem like a very shakeable person.
That's what I hear that a lot, but it's something I work at.
Okay.
My natural disposition is to kind of be more of an observer type. And then if I feel I can add value, then I get myself into the conversation. And I'm easy to conversate with those I know well, but to approach people I don't know, it's definitely a skilled trait that I had to learn. And I had to learn how to do it in a way that felt good to me, so that people wouldn't run away from me. Because you've had that happen before, right? Like you're in a networking situation and you just see this one person, you're like, oh no, don't make eye contact with them. Like, I don't want them to come over and talk to me. So I work really hard to make sure that that doesn't occur when I'm coming into a space. And so basically, those are some of the things that we help our members with in Team, as well as their branding and figuring out how to present themselves, and then how to build real business relationships with other valued partners. So in 2023, the San Diego County franchise came up for sale, and the CEO asked me if I was interested in purchasing it. And I thought, well, okay, because I was researching purchasing a franchise, Dress for Success. Are you familiar with that?
I've heard of it.
So Dress for Success is something where they help career professionals with not only clothes, but also things like interviews and resumes. So it would make sense to have that as a nonprofit for myself in my career coaching business. So I was researching that. And then Team came up, which is a business I already know, a model I already trust, because that's what helped me build out different sections of my business, right? So, hello, Cynthia.
Cynthia?
Well, I will now if she connects with me on LinkedIn or whatever platform she's watching. It's Facebook. Okay.
And sorry to interrupt, but as we're doing this, because it's live, we're able to interface and engage with our audience. So I'm always appreciative of people popping on and making comments. So thank you, Cynthia. And I've got another one from our buddy out in the North Sea, Ifros. He's a chef actually out on an oil rig out in the North Sea. and he pops in once in a while too. So I love that. So
Funny.
thank you for Cynthia for hopping in. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so you have this franchise, and you've got this. You started going to this the team, and I want to explore that some more because that seems like a real heart driven um, thing that you do.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons why I decided to purchase the franchise for team is because we gift a seat to a nonprofit in each of our chapters. And so, as I mentioned, I was looking at buying a nonprofit franchise, but then Teams, something I already knew and I knew I could just jump right in and do it, would allow me to support multiple nonprofits. And so that's kind of what shifted me over to that. For the chef who's on, who you mentioned, I do just want to share a really funny note about chefs. Before I knew anything about um, networking, I had a chef client. So I was working with her on her LinkedIn and helping her to be able to promote her business that way. And I asked her to list her professional organizations, and she listed one called La Tip. I knew nothing about networking at this time. So I just thought that was a networking group for people who were in that industry, you know? So then, like years later, I then find out what networking is, and I find out, oh, Latip is like something similar to Team, and it's like this whole networking organization. So it's just so funny because I still have that chef client, and so
Oh,
the
that's
person
great.
who just made me think about that, like how I knew nothing about networking about 5 years ago, like at all.
Yeah, now you're like a master at it. And you guys have an event coming up with Team, right? And and I wanted to
Yeah.
ask, while I'm thinking of it, what is your franchise is working with a nonprofit? True.
Yeah, well, so we have multiple different nonprofits in each of our chapters. So how my franchise model works is that each of our chapters are category exclusive for business professionals. So there's just, one lender or one realtor per chapter, but we have multiple chapters throughout San Diego County. And then we
Oh,
all
great. How
come
many chapters
together.
have you got?
We have 11 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
That's
then we
great.
all
You have
come together
11
as
charities that you're working with.
well, not yet. We have 8.
Okay.
So we still have some spots in some of our chapters for some nonprofits. Yeah.
All right. Well, good. Well, let's get busy. Time to start getting busy with that. So I'm
Yeah.
going to bring up this. You have a fundraiser coming up. Tell us about that.
We do. We do. So this is our second annual fundraiser. So as I mentioned, I just took over last January. And one of the things I wanted to bring into our organization was a way to really get our nonprofits together and have them working together as well. And then to have our members support them by raising funds we do it throughout the year, but this is an annual event that we do. So this is our second annual gala. It's called Playing It Forward. And this year we are supporting 5 of our nonprofits in it. So we are doing Gary and Mary West Pace West. We're doing the Boys and Girls Club. We're doing Veterans Writing Group, which is a smaller nonprofit, but they are amazing. They help veterans publish their stories. So they work with them to, whether it's a book, blog, whatever they're working on. And then Pink Strength is focused on cancer survivors and current patients, but really geared towards those 40 and under, which is an underserved demographic.
Hmm.
And then we also have American Cancer Society. So, for example, the Veterans Writing Group is part of our Coastal Connectors chapter in Carlsbad. The Gary and Mary Pace West is in our San Marcos chapter. American Cancer Society is in our Solana Beach chapter. Pink Strength is in our Women's Network chapter that is launching. And Boys and Girls Club is in our RB Connections chapter. So these are all members and nonprofits that we support. And so what we're going to do is raise funds for them one night, which will be November 7th. It's from 5:30 to 8. And we have some really great silent auction prizes, including for our VIP ticket holders, a 2-night stay and $150 dining card for Viejas Casino. We have tickets for Waves San Diego, so the local women's soccer team. We have round of golf for 4 and carts at RBN, and we have tickets to the Globe Theater, and we also have a wine class. So we've got a broad array of silent auction items. So we hope that everyone will grab their tickets, because thanks to our sponsors that we have for this event and our community sponsors, we are able to put all of the ticket proceeds and all of the silent auction proceeds directly split to our nonprofits. So even just buying a ticket is a donation write-off, and you will be contributing to these great nonprofits. And then we end the night with a little concert set by Shared, which is a Shared tribute band. So it should be lots of fun.
Wow. So that's when's that again? Wednesday? No.
That is Thursday, November 7th. Yeah. Yeah. So we have VIP tickets and standard tickets. Our VIP tickets come with a VIP lounge too. So we're hoping to get the community involved. And, if you're still wondering what kind of tax write-off you could get, why don't you come do one that you're going to enjoy yourself too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's smart business. And bring your whole team with you and donate to your local community, because all
Exactly.
the lists that you presented, most of those are local charities, right?
Yeah, all of them are local. All of them are local. It's coming into the local chapters of those charities too. So thinking about some of those bigger ones like Boys and Girls Club and American Cancer Society, it will be supporting their San Diego local chapters and branches.
Okay, perfect. So you're helping out the local community at the same time. So that's, I think, important for us to do. And so thank you for putting that all together, you and your team.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Laura, that's fantastic work. I love seeing the proactive work in the community and bringing groups together, and that the team group also does networking. So you're helping businesses to prosper and connect in the local market, plus helping drive funds and resource to some really important charities in the area. What else do you do? You do so many things. What's the next most important thing for you in your life?
Besides besides the kids. The next thing I do is I do business and career coaching. So I help people with scaling, whether it is focusing in on moving up the career ladder within their organization or transferring to a different organization that's going to get them what they're looking for. And I also then help businesses do the same. So one of the things that I really help with is LinkedIn. It's an underutilized resource for many people because they just don't know what to do with it.
Which one? You said LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, yeah. Yeah, okay. Especially for B2B. It's definitely the space that you want to be in because it's set up to be a networking platform. If people are active on there, it's because they're open to connecting with you. And then also it's free for you to create content that is going to get into the feed of your targeted audience or targeted business partnership. So I love it. And I've been utilizing it, like I said, to help build my first business that I started. So Anew Resume and Career Services. And I still utilize it for team and basically for many of the connections that I find. So if you want to see what I'm up to, what team's up to, I'm also on the board of directors for the North San Diego Business Chamber, as well as another great nonprofit called Classics for Kids. So I share all of that information through LinkedIn, through my personal page, and the business pages that I run and operate too.
So what is it? You mentioned you were also certified with AI. What is it that you're
Mhm.
helping people with through LinkedIn and AI?
Well, so one of the things that people are struggling with is they go in and they're getting familiar with AI, but they're doing it through the lens of just kind of trial and error. And so I can help people figure out how to actually create a persona so that it sounds like them or sounds like their business. And that's going to take so much time out of your day. So think about, a lot of times people will think, well, I'm going to use this for a social marketing post, which you can and you should, and it will create you even a calendar of how you should send them out. It's one of the ways I managed my social media when I was in London on vacation with family in July. But one of the other things it can do for you, especially as a business owner, I utilize it to go over different strategy or tactics that I'm thinking of doing with my leadership team. So I kind of play back and forth with it. One example is Clifton Strengths, or now what's, Gallup has taken that
Mhm.
over. So it just Gallup Strengths. But I had all of my leadership team do their top 5 strengths. Then what I did is I asked AI, I said, "Are you familiar with Clifton Strengths?" And then it told me it was and gave me a little spiel on it. I said, "Great. What I'd like to do now is I'm going to upload each of my leadership's profiles based off of that. Let me know what is the best way to motivate them." So went through and did that. Then I said, okay, create me a sales closing tactic for each of them individually based off of their strengths. So we did that. Then I said, okay, now I'd like to pair them up in the right accountability partners. Let me know what are the right accountability partners. So it helped me with that. And then I said, here's my 5 strengths. As their leader, where are my weaknesses? Where are my strengths? How can I work with them and help them gain the most? So something that would have taken me a couple of hours to go through, now this only took me an hour. And the reason it took me an hour is because one of the key components people miss with AI is this is your starting point. Then you look it over and review it and you edit it and you make sure that it's where you want it to be. So that's one of the things that I don't think people understand they can do with it.
Mhm.
I also utilize it for a lot of other administrative tasks that I don't want to do. And then I also formulate all the information that I want for my VA, and then I give that over to them and have them use it. So there's so many things you can do with AI that are beyond just, hey, I'm going to make a social media post. Like there's a lot that can actually help you in your business if you understand that it's a tool and how to use that tool.
Great. That's fantastic. Sounds like you've simplified the process using AI to create some real impactful content and a theme within the profile so that people can actually get traction. One of the things that bugs me about LinkedIn right now is that you get all these communications from people, and it's always, I have this thing and I want you to buy it for me today. And it's like, I frankly don't care. I don't want to hear from you again. Go away. Um, and it's, I think, so important to develop relationships first, spend some time getting to know who they are, or at least you're looking and seeing where they've been posting and figuring out what it is they're interested in and tap into that and add to the conversation they're having already and gain some trust and authority for whatever it is you do, instead of just always saying, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. That's okay. I'm done with my rant. But it's
No,
like,
I agree. I 100% agree. And I always advise that to my clients. Your sales should be 25% of what you're posting. More than
yeah, it's
that,
like
and you're
Gary
not
Vee,
doing the
right?
right
Jab,
thing.
jab, jab, right cross, right? You got to do those little the jabs, and it's a battle. I mean, you're battling for people's attention, and they're getting so much garbage that the good stuff doesn't get seen. So how do you help people get
True.
through?
Well, so one of the things is it's not all about posting. Well, one of the strategies that I utilize for myself and that has been really successful is going in and leaving comments on other people's posts, but thoughtful comments, not just thanks for sharing, or
That's
like
something
that's
AI can help
great.
you with at this point.
Um, you know, as somebody who's certified with I wouldn't utilize AI when you're looking to make your real connection because you're not controlling that space. There's things in LinkedIn that you can use like Sales Navigator, but exactly what you just referred to about feeling like you're getting pitch slapped everywhere, right? Like everything's here.
That's a good term. Yeah, bam! I just got pitch left. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. That's when people are utilizing those tools. Like I hear all the time, people want to say, oh, you're going to get 3 to 4 quality clients out of LinkedIn a month if you utilize this or that. Or people come into my messaging and they want to say, how would you feel if you could get that? And I'm like, I do get that with much less time put into it because I put quality into it. So, um, example, I have a LinkedIn profile webinar that I do for clients, and one of the things that I tell them is set 30 minutes on your timer and then go in and utilize those 30 minutes. And that's what you're doing on LinkedIn for the day. Anything beyond that, you're wasting your time. You're going down the rabbit hole. And so, an example is if you post every day, people think that that's what consistency is, and it's not on LinkedIn. That's what's spammy on LinkedIn. You should be posting when you have something to add because that will live a lot longer than a post on Facebook or Instagram. It's a different platform. Second, if you go in and leave a good comment, and if your profile is set up so people understand what you do, you're going to get people wanting to connect with you. So a great example I have is one of my former clients. I had just had my second son and somebody posted, can you have it all? The infamous thing that we hear all the time, can somebody have it all? And so I put in a pretty thoughtful comment because, again, I'm just a couple weeks out of my postpartum. So I'm like living this right now,
mm-hmm.
And I just put something to the effect of, yes, I think you can, but you have to choose what you're focusing on at each different time because it's different when you're giving more time to family or more time to business, and you just have to be okay with it. Well, I had somebody who reached out to me and said, I loved your comment. I felt like I really connected with you. I went to your profile and saw that you actually help people with their resumes and their LinkedIn profiles. Are you still taking clients? Because if so, I would like to be one. And she was a great client. But what was really great about her is not only was she great to work with, but thinking about the reach that I had with her. She was actually in Kenya. She was opening up a new child development resource center for expats who were in Kenya. So she's originally from the US and went to school at UNC. So anyways, I don't know how else I would have reached her. It just came from her seeing my comment and then asking if we could work together. And she was a joy to work with. And that was just from taking, a few minutes of my day and paying attention to what I was doing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story, and it's so true. Um, this medium is so um, powerful. It gives people the ability to broadcast very loudly, and
Right.
I think to your point to story that you just shared is that the quiet voice that comes from the heart is really more powerful, and that you
Yeah.
actually help someone and help them get further along on their journey, and that feels good. It is, it's just one of those things that just I think is the real purpose for behind all of this, is not to do sales and not to get your quota done and not to make things, not to make your boss happy. It's, how can I help other people to make things better for them? And
Well,
that's what I feel
yeah.
like they're all about.
Well, something that you and I were talking about before we went live, right? Before you hit live, is being able to give and then know that that is going to come back to you in some way, in some cyclical way. It will come back to you, 2, 3 fold. I'm so happy with what I do now because I'm in a position finally where I'm able to do things like give back into the community through charities, or helping other people learn how to benefit from networking because it's done so much for me, or really helping people who've been struggling in their career, who just, they keep getting passed up and they can't figure it out, why. And it's really fulfilling to be able to help people get to the other side of it, because I feel like a lot of times we will stop right at the point where we needed to push to make the thing happen. Does that make sense? Like, before the good thing happens, I feel like things do get really overwhelming. And what I've noticed is every time I'm feeling that, now instead of that anxiety that gets driven in me, I turn it into excitement, because I'm like, oh, that means I'm almost there. Like, I felt this feeling before, where you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm about to fail, like, horribly. But it's not. It's, people don't naturally like change. You have to recognize that and understand that more than likely, just on the other side is actually what you were trying to accomplish. Like, if you just push through that, it's normally right on the other side, is what I've found throughout my career and life.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. Wanted to ask you about your other business. I'm a guy, right? So I like cars. Some girls like cars too. My girlfriend likes cars, but
I like art.
you have a business dealing with, you and your husband have a business dealing with transmissions.
Yeah.
So tell us
So
about that.
I grew up around cars. My dad was a mechanic and owned his own mechanic shop, and his father owned it before him. Like, we had the classic Buicks, we put them in car shows. Um, Fun fact that you probably wouldn't believe is that I actually took auto in high school. I was the only female in there. But I can change tires, I can change brakes and oil. And
What inspired you to do that? Your dad was in that
probably,
business, right?
yeah. Well, probably my dad. And so I was raised by a single dad. So I'm very much push against whatever people think should be the norm of what I should be doing. I like to kind of be in both spaces. Um, so I'm an only child. So I bet my dad had always like hoped that he'd be able to pass down the business to someone. But frankly, just because I can change a tire and all those things doesn't mean I'm going to. Like, I will not. um, but my dad ended up transitioning the business into online, to being e-commerce. And he was more successful than he'd ever been when he had the brick and mortar and was doing the physical work. And so he set that up. And then at that point in 2019, he was like, do you think Blake might be interested in, Blake's my husband. He's like, do you think he might be interested in taking this over? And I was like, yes, he has been looking for something, because my husband was in corporate for a very long time. And it didn't really fulfill him. He always wanted his own business. He didn't know what he wanted. So anyways, we worked it out and we purchased it in 2019. So we sell classic transmission parts online. So everything before it goes electronic. We have a huge international piece to our business, because they're constantly looking for those pieces and parts. Yeah, my husband runs all of it. I'm on there in name, right? But in this way, my dad was able to pass down the business as well. And so now we're on a third generation business, which is pretty cool, and keeping up the tradition. And it's nice. It's fun. And it's our main business. It's, you know, COVID was good for that business. So I feel bad saying it, but it's we couldn't have purchased it at a better time, frankly.
Mm. Yeah, well, it's sometimes those things work in your favor, sometimes they don't. But glad
Yeah.
that things are working out there for you. And I'm sure that your customer base. I've got a few friends that have classic cars like that, and we have, of course, the Rod Run here in Temecula every year, and some of the most amazing vehicles, and they're so much fun to go see and listen to them, start them up as and wow, it's in the nostalgia and the fun and the kind of the fantasy of living in a bygone era is
Yeah.
really it's not only fun, but it's kind of inspiring. It's like, oh yeah, let's keep that going. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're
And
helping.
then here in San Diego, so Escondido does their, like, for months, where they do their cruise and grand every Friday. I think it's usually from April through September, they do that. Um, and so there's a lot of good stuff that comes for it, but you're right. Like, it's very nostalgia driven, it's kind of like American Graffiti, right? So I'm from Fresno originally, and they shot
Oh
that
really?
Fresno. Yeah.
I was just up
So,
there. My girlfriend grew up there, and she
oh,
was
she did?
raised on a raisin ranch. They grew grapes, and
Oh,
they were supplying raisins to several companies. So
yeah,
I just
that
got up
makes
there and
sense.
she had her 40th high school reunion, and I got to meet some of her friends. So it was
Wait, which high school?
it was a Christian, it was a Catholic high school.
Oh, okay, because my aunt just had her 40th high school reunion, and I was like, "No." I thought
But
they might have been at the same one.
we got to check that in. We got to check into that. I forget. I don't remember the name of the high school, but I could get it. Let's touch base on that, because that would be fun if they connect, or maybe I met her there. I don't know. There wasn't a big group,
Right, yeah.
so
Yeah,
that
you
would be
gotta
fun.
let me know. How funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And
What is
there's
your
networking, right, Jim? That's the networking piece.
that's fun. What is your purpose? Just to put it out there, we're talking about purpose-driven conversations. And it's hard. I'm just curious to see if you have an answer to that, because it's sometimes difficult, really, to come up with what that is, because it could be so many
Yeah.
things. But if there was one driving purpose behind what you're doing, what would that be?
Well, I actually came up with a personal mission statement a couple of years ago, and I was just helping. We just did a lunch and learn last month with team, and I helped my members figure that out too. So we utilized AI in a prompting, but I don't have my mission statement memorized, so I guess that's my bad.
Oh, that's all
But
good.
my,
No, it's not bad. It's like it's
but
in
no,
process. So that's good on you
my,
for getting
my
that going.
things. My purpose really is to continue to evolve in a way where I am seen as somebody who is accountable, helping myself and others around me progress through their career, while still maintaining to be able to be a support for my family, for those in my community, and being approachable. I work really hard to be approachable. I wasn't always at the beginning of my career, and it's just something that I find is so important as a business owner. Is if you really want people to be able to do business with you, you need to keep a level head and make sure that when you're anything that you're doing, you need to be present. Give people the respect that they deserve. Give yourself the respect you deserve. You can only do that by being present. And I think that's really hard for us to do currently with just the way we're always in this like what's next phase. Sometimes what's next comes when you're really present in the moment, you know? So that's what I try to do.
Yeah. Well, I applaud you for taking that, filling that space and being that person, because it's not easy. And especially now knowing a little bit about your background, that you grew up in a single parent family with dad, and and yet now you've moved into the role of mom and being a role model, a business owner, and helping your husband to prosper with his endeavors. And it's really inspiring for me to hear your story. That how do you do that? How do you keep everything balanced and together? And what's your your philosophy on keeping all of that going? And where do you see yourself headed with all of this?
Well, a couple of years ago when I realized all these different things and plates that I had going on all the time, I kind of got to that point where I was like, how am I going to keep up with all of this? Like, how do I keep my head on straight and keep balance? And so I came up with what I refer to as the 3 Ps. So whenever I am thinking about doing something new, or if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I take a look at what's going on and I judge it based off of if it's bringing me peace, prosperity, or progress. Those are the 3 things that I use to check what's going on. And I find it so very important because otherwise I would just take on things all the time because I'm one of those people who's like something comes off my schedule. I'm like, oh, I have more space. Let's put this on. But I found that if I don't check myself, then I do get overwhelmed. And then that's where you get to the point where you can't be present when you're there with your family because you're thinking about business or vice versa, and it's just not a good feeling. Um, and I'm not unrealistic. Like, I understand that you can't always feel great about things all the time, and I don't, right? But I find that when I come back to those 3 Ps, it helps me realign with whatever's going on. I can figure out where I am, where I need to go next, because that's one of the things that holds back a lot of just professionals in general, whether you work for somebody else or you own your own business, is that fear of the unknown, or like, I don't know what this next move should be. So you do have to have some kind of like a compass for yourself so you can figure that out. What I would like to do and where I would like to be is having more freedom of my time. And I'm working on being able to do that right now while still maintaining quality in my different business spheres. So that includes bringing on an additional VA for myself who can help me with the admin tasks that I simply don't have time to do. And also, I don't want to do. I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm working to hire on another VA who's going to take all that off. And then I'd like to be able to just go to many different beaches. I like beaches. I'm a beach person. I feel like you're either like mountains or the forest or beach. I'm beach. So this is why I moved to San Diego. So I'd like to be able to do that more often, while still having income coming in. So getting into the automated side, but utilizing tools like my AI knowledge, as well as the ability to connect with people virtually, to have that freedom and still be able to produce quality. So that's it. And as far as with the nonprofit side of things, I'd like to be making a huge impact. Like, well, we're on our second annual gala. It's going to be great. We're probably going to do double what we did last year. So that's perfect. But eventually I want to have like a big space that we rent out every year. I want it to be this sit down gala. Like, I want it to be this huge thing because I really believe in giving back to nonprofits. It's just something that's always driven me. And we have over 12,000 just in San Diego County. So I want to help others achieve what they want to accomplish while maintaining a focus on how that impacts our community. So
Awesome.
That's
Yeah, I've met a lot of entrepreneurs who like to give, who have set up their businesses as, you know, purpose-driven type organizations or supporting charities of one type or another. But many of them haven't figured out how to monetize. And for whatever reason, I think sometimes a lot of them tend to feel like, well, money's not that important. But I love what Zig Ziglar said. Yeah, I remember him in a book that I read. He said, yeah, money's not is not the most important thing, but it's right up there with oxygen.
yeah.
Yeah, it's important. and and you figured out a way to get both done. You figured out a way to help the community and bring prosperity in some really positive, energetic, and beautiful ways. And you're also monetizing. So you're able to have the life that you want. And I love that. You know, being
Thank
able to
you.
spend time with your family, spend time, with your kids in school, spend time with your husband, going to concerts, going to the beach. And we do have some amazing beaches here in the San Diego area that, you go during the week. Now that I'm retired, I can go there during the week and it's almost
Yeah.
empty. There's just everybody's working. So if you can figure out a way to get there and be, experience that and be yourself there, that's, I believe that's amazing. And I love that. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just hoping to continue the momentum going forward. And okay, I have this really weird. Do you like the movie The Fugitive with Harrison
Trying to,
Ford?
oh yeah, yeah. Great movie. I love
Yeah, and
Harrison
the
Ford too.
woman who played Teddy in the show Sisters. Um, anyways, so she plays his wife, and at the beginning, before she gets murdered, spoiler alert, but at the beginning, they are at this gala, and I don't know why, but this is like always what I think of when I think of a gala, and so it's just really interesting how things take a full turn or a full circle. Something I watched when I was like 8 or 9, because again, raised by dad. So I watched a lot of Harrison Ford films growing up.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it
good
just
start.
comes full circle. And so that's what I want. I want to be able to enjoy my work while still making money at it and
Mhm.
still being able to give back to others. Like that's the perfect part, the perfect spot. So that's what I'm working towards.
Oh, that's great. I was just looking up something. I was just looking up The Fugitive. It's got Tommy Lee Jones in it.
Mhm.
Oh, great movie.
It is, it's a good movie.
Yeah, here's a quick little. Um, Let share this little little quick little. It's like, oh my god, as a maybe not as a woman, you don't shave like that, but as a guy, you're like,
I do not.
this is kind of sacred time in the morning. It's quiet, and you're just doing your thing. And he doesn't look. He looks really stressed right there. So
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's when he's getting ready to go on the run. That he has to shave because he's the doctor and he starts with the beard and stuff. So,
yeah,
yeah.
he's getting ready to head out. So yeah, he's got Tommy
Mhm.
Lee on his case. Uh,
Yeah.
well, let's see. I wanted to kind of transition here a little bit, and I have in the back wings Mr. Florin Dumais. He's as you know, the founder of Bright Business and the
Mhm.
Bright Business Project, and the author of the Bright Business book. And I wanted to bring him on just for a few minutes to introduce
Sure.
and also give us an update on what's going on this week and next week in the Bright Business Project. So I
Sounds good.
hope you're ready, Florence. I'm bringing you on, buddy. So let's
Hey,
see.
happy Monday. Happy Monday, Laura. Happy Monday, Jim.
Hi.
Happy
Good to
Monday.
see
Now,
you
you just
again.
got back from New York.
Yeah, this morning,
Oh, nice.
uh, yeah, wonderful. Yeah, we had some conversations. this weekend in New York about community, the power of purpose, and things like this. And I was impressed to see how important it is to have the right people around you, and to see how we can nurture that community. Not to
Mhm.
use it, but to be part, like you're saying, Laura, earlier. So I was listening careful. I took some notes here. So it's not easy to kind of build a community and nurture that community, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. It takes a lot of work, as you
Oh,
know
yeah,
too, right?
yeah, but it's very, very rewarding. And yeah,
Mhm.
as an entrepreneur, it's not easy. It's not easy to. In fact, most of the time we are alone. This is one of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs. Probably you experience that too. But I think you're busy, have enough community around you, have many things going on. But most entrepreneurs are alone.
Yeah,
And
especially at the beginning. And I
yeah,
think that's the hardest part. It's probably why a lot of entrepreneurs don't make it past the 2 years, you know?
yeah. That's why you need to have the right people around you. And I'm glad you're active in the community, and I'm glad to see you and be our speaker. One, two, three. No, last month. I'm sorry, what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us. And now let's talk a little bit about the Bright Business Project and what we do here. Uh, as you probably noticed, we are networking is not our number one priority. We focus more on, let's say, learning part and connections. And for example, tomorrow we have a marketing and sales group dedicated to our members, and here we're gonna focus on three components. First of all, we're gonna start based on your recommendation, Jim. Last time, we're gonna start building a framework for each component of our marketing and sales strategy and action plan, and we're gonna start framing exactly the solution, the pain, and our ideal customer persona, like you mentioned earlier, Laura. So before
Mhm.
talking about any marketing strategies and spending even time in random posts, we need to understand exactly what pain we solve and who is the recipient. So this is gonna cover at the beginning. And second part, in our
When is that, Florin?
I'm
When is
sorry,
that? Is it going to be tomorrow, right? Is that for
no,
members only?
yeah, this for members only from 9 to 10. 1 hour is gonna be pretty strong. And this after the the template and the framework for the marketing and sales, we're gonna be very intentional now with our members. In our community, we have very good quality business experts, and a
Yeah.
few of them, including Jim, are in this marketing and sales field. And I want to mention here Dali, Jim, Mike Miller, and Felima. You met her, probably you know each other from International Women Association Club
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
San
She's
Diego. Yeah.
great.
And we have wonderful people. And now, in the second part, we encourage our business experts to facilitate workshops to help um, the rest of the members to build and improve different parts of this marketing and sales strategy. And in the end, tomorrow we'll focus on our best practices as a community, how we as a community can support each other on social media, let's say, to generate awareness, why not generate leads, and so on to close sales. Um, so this is about
Mhm.
tomorrow for marketing and sales, our close group. And then Wednesday, we're gonna meet in Corona for our Bright Business Club from 9 to 11 for 2 hours. And Wednesday, we're gonna have, yeah, it's right here. We're gonna have Beverly and Joseph um, showing or with sort of demo or case study on how AI can be implemented in a business. So Beverly is working. Beverly, she's an AI expert, and she's gonna help Joseph to improve his business operations. And Joseph is a capital raising strategist, so he helps businesses, small and large businesses, to get the money. So he has the deep pockets. And it's interesting to see. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen Wednesday. What they're cooking. And on the other side, we're gonna promote. We're gonna listen to Brian, our new member, and an entrepreneur from Riverside, to promote his business and his passion and purpose. So Wednesday is gonna be the Corona. Then Thursday is gonna be probably one of can I say, the biggest event in Irvine, where we have two special guests. Chu Lee, an authority in AI, but not AI at the consumer level, generative AI. So it's more the specific, he call it task something, TI or something. So he built dedicated AI, how can I say, most of the challenges for AI. So I'm learning right now in communication with Chun. I'm learning about AI a lot. So those specific dedicated but no machine learning or AI he's building is dedicated for a specific industry. So the probability of hallucination is very, very low, below 2%. So he's gonna explain us how he's working about his last project, and how we can adapt all this in our business. So and another guest speaker is gonna be Alice Shane. She's a global international expert in assisting small businesses to grow. So it's a part of, like, I know, global project expert. And we're gonna have Mike Miller also talking on Thursday.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Lauren, thank you so much for sharing all that. We're looking forward to a great week, and we're about to wrap up here. And I wanted to say
Thank you.
thank you so much for coming on and sharing what's going on with the Bright Business Project, and to invite people to, I've got it on the ticker there, go to brisness.com and learn more about it and get involved. It's a great community for you if you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, or a founder, or even pre-startup. If you're looking for ideas, experts, other business owners to help you, this is the place to be. And let me tell you what, it's live in-person events and also Zoom events. That's a great combination for you to get access to amazing people and talent and ideas, and stay on track with your idea and make money with it. So let's go. So thank you, Florin. I'm going to say goodbye. And
Thank you. Have a wonderful week.
yeah. And so Laura, again, thank you so much for joining us on the show today, and appreciate you kind of hanging in with us here. I know you got to go here in a minute or so. So what, any last words, anything you'd like to share before we end up wrapping up here?
Yeah, sure. I just thank you so much for sharing the space today and kind of letting me chat a little bit with you about what it is that I do and how I can hopefully help others accomplish what they want as well. If anybody is interested in attending our second annual gala on November 7th, you want to have a good time, want to get a tax write-off, and make some great business connections too. The link for that is also on my LinkedIn profile, where you can put your main website right at the top. So please feel free to purchase tickets. We'd love to have you there. And just thank you again so much, Jim. I really appreciate the conversation today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It was really fun. It goes so quick. I'm looking for the link here on your, is it in the contact info?
It's not in the contact info. If you look directly at my profile, you'll see.
Oh, gala event. There it is.
Yep. And it says gala tickets. Yep. And so you can just click right there and it'll take you to the Eventbrite directly so you can purchase tickets.
So I'm going to put that up on the screen here real quick again.
Thank you. Yeah,
So
one of the things, if you're highlighting anything for your LinkedIn profile, you can always drop a link right there and then start directing people to click on that too.
yeah, there's a link. It's pretty big. Let me see here. I think I messed it up. There we go. All right. So Eventbrite, playing it forward, a night where together everyone achieves more tickets.
Yeah,
So
so that's what team stands for. Is together, everyone achieves more. So
yeah, oh, that's fantastic. Together everyone achieves more. So grab a screenshot of that and then grab your tickets. They're selling fast, and bring your pocketbook and your wallet, because these are great charities, great community services that you can donate to. And as you say, right, you can write these off and have some fun, do some networking, and make a difference in the community. So
yeah,
appreciate you joining us on the show today, Laura, and have an awesome afternoon. Can you hang on a sec
All right.
afterward? Yep. I'm gonna
You
end the
too.
stream. Say bye.
Bye.